Okay, hello Cloud Gurus and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture we're going to learn how we can create a static website on S3, and it's a lab. It's going to be very quick because it is very easy to do. So you'll need to log into the AWS console. Okay, so here I am in the S3 console. If you want to delete any of the buckets that we've created in the last few lectures, you can. We don't need them anymore. I'm going to go in and create a new bucket. So we're going to call this my S3 website London. Hopefully that will be available. Scroll all the way down, go ahead, looks like it's free, go ahead and hit next. Gonna leave everything else as default and create our new bucket, and there we go. So we've got our S3 website London. So if we click in it, there's nothing in there right now. We can go over to properties, and in here we've got static website hosting. So let's click on that, and basically it will create an endpoint. So it'll be my S3 website london.s3-website.eu-west-2.amazon-aws.com. Now in the developer associate exam, you're going to need to be able to pick which URL would be generated when you create a website on S3. You probably don't need to do that in the Solutions Architect Associate exam though, so it's good just to learn that format depending on which exam you're going to be sitting. So in here we've got redirect requests. This is where you can just redirect traffic to another bucket or to another domain name. We don't want to do that though. What we want to do is we want to use this bucket to host a website, and then we just in here we have our index document. So this will be our landing page. So let's just make it index.html, and we'll do the same here. Our error document, in case there is any errors, we'll call it error.html. Go ahead and hit save. And there we go, we've got static website hosting turned on. Now the problem is we don't have an index.html or we don't have a error.html. So let's go ahead and create one. Okay, so I don't know how many of you learned HTML in high school or university, but it's pretty simple. So we'll just do some HTML, and then we'll open up with our header, and then we'll open up with a title. We'll just say hello Cloud Gurus. We'll end our title, and then we'll end our header. And then we'll open up our body and we'll do a heading. And so we'll just say, hello, Cloud. And sorry for the typos, guys. It's hard to type. Hello, Cloud Gurus, and talk at the same time. I'm not very good at multitasking. We'll do another one and we'll say, welcome to my website. End H2. Then we want to end our body. And then we want to end our HTML. And I will have this as a resources in the lecture, so you can download this and not have to type it out yourself. I'm just going to copy and paste this so you don't have the pain of watching me type it out all again. And instead over here, we're just going to say, hello Cloud Gurus. Here we're just going to, under heading 2, we're going to say, there has been an error. And I can see that I haven't closed this off, so I'm just going to close this off, and likewise over here I'm going to close it off as well, and so we shouldn't have any problems. And again, I'll make this code available to you at the end in the resources section of the course. So I'm back in my S3 bucket. Let's go ahead and upload. We're going to add our files, and we're going to do index and error.html. Go ahead and hit next. Now in here we're going to set our permissions. Obviously, because it is a website, we're going to want people to be able to read it, the general public. But for right now, I'm just going to show you, and we're going to test out our error. Actually, let's just do this now. So we'll make everyone be able to read. Go ahead and hit next, leave everything else as default, and upload our 2 files. So if we go into properties again and click on static website hosting, we can now click on our endpoint, and there you go. Hello Cloud Gurus, welcome to my website. If I go back to the other tab and go back to my objects, let's go into our index.html and let's change the permissions to make it not public. So we go into our all users, going to remove read access and hit save. Now if I go back over here and refresh, hopefully we'll be able to see our error message. There we go, there's been an error. And that's it, it's literally that simple. So the great thing about hosting websites on S3 is that it scales automatically. You don't need to worry about load balancers, you don't need to worry about servers. It's literally serverless computing, and it can handle any load. You could have, hundreds of thousands of people viewing this site at one time. However, Websites on S3 is static content only. It's things like HTML. It's not going to be PHP. It's not going to be .NET. You can't do anything server side. So there is a limitation there. And I sort of mentioned it in one of the last lectures. When I worked as a solutions architect, we would put up websites on S3 for things where there was big events, like when we were doing movie premieres. And one of the biggest movies that came out, I think it was in 2012. I was the SA that was working on that, and basically we had a landing page for the preview of the movie, and I can't remember, we got something like 15 million hits in 24 hours, and it cost us almost nothing because it was all hosted on S3. Later on in the DNS section of the course, Route 53, I'll show you how to change that link so that you can just have your own URL pointing to an S3 bucket, so you don't have to use Amazon's URL. But that's it really for this lecture, guys. It's really, really simple, really, really fun. It's really, really cheap to do. So if you do need to knock up a simple static website, definitely have a look at S3. If you have any questions, please let me know. If not, feel free to move on to the next lecture. Thank you.